Peace to everybody. This is mother of Frayser shooting victim calls for peace support. And as you can see in the picture here is Mrs. Clark. One of her sons is wiping away the tears as she speaks out at the vigil. Jaletta Clark stood in the driveway where her son, 20-year-old Brandon Weber, was shot by members of a U.S. Marshal task force just 2 days prior. So Jaletta was standing in her driveway of her 20-year-old son, Brandon Weber. Was just 2 days prior before the shooting by the U.S. Marshals task force. Surrounded by friends, family, neighbors, and clergy at a vigil held outside her home Friday night, Clark asked for support. So she's asking for support from people. She needs support because of what happened to her son. And no parent should have to bury their own child, but in this case, it did happen. And it's not fair at all to what happened. A lot of people always say that you should check on people after a funeral and make sure they are okay. I'm not okay, Clark says. Yeah, so she's not okay at all with her son being gone at all. And it's sad. And of course, if you lose a loved one or something, please check on them to make sure they're okay after a funeral. I'm gonna really need y'all. I don't know how to live life without my son. So she's gonna have a hard time living without her son because he was the oldest, and it's really gonna be hard on her. Authorities say their confrontation with Weber stemmed from an incident on June 3rd in Hernando, Mississippi, in which Weber was accused of shooting a man and stealing his car after a test drive. Okay, so the authorities had their confrontation incident on June 3rd. Now, do we know for sure if Weber really shot a man and stealing a car? No, because none of us know for sure what really happened. And of course, the authorities are just making up anything as they go along. Following the shooting, which claimed Weber's life, an uprising ensued throughout the surrounding blocks in the Frayser neighborhood. More than 20 local police and sheriff deputies who responded received minor injuries from objects thrown in the chaotic scene. Yes, so they had surrounding blocks that come for an uprising ensured throughout. And of course, 20 local police sheriff deputies, they were injured because stuff was thrown at them like rocks, garbage cans maybe, and whatever else could have been thrown at them. And here's a picture of the siblings mourning the death of their brother. And they're just gonna be heartbroken, and they're gonna have a hard time um getting along without him, because I guess he was always making sure they were okay. However, Weber's mother, uncles, and others who addressed emotional attendees sat Friday's vigil called for peace as they mourned Weber's death. Yeah, so they're called for Weber's death. They're mourning the life. They're mourning the death of Weber, and it's really hard to be without that person. Let's respect all these people out here, the pastors and people who came to help. I want to respect these people out here, the people, the media, everybody, Clark said. Well, first of all, you can't trust the media because they lie and it's a distraction, like always. But the people, yes, if they are friends with Weber, yes, then they will respect her. And of course, it's never too easy to mourn the death of a loved one. Y'all stayed out here as long as y'all want to, but I'll cut it off if it gets too crunk. Yeah, so she's saying that if if it gets out of hand, she gonna cut it off. She don't care because, she's angry, she's hurt, she's upset that she lost her son to the U.S. Marshals because they shot him for no reason at all by accusing him, allegedly shooting a man and stealing a car. I need y'all here. I don't want them to shut this down or send us away or cut it off early. I want us to be out here to love and celebrate him all night as long as we want to, as long as we do it right and do it peacefully. That'll be allowed. And so she wants peace. She wants it to have his love and celebrate him all night, as long as they do it right and do it peacefully. Pastor Myron Thomas of Frayser's Innovation Church officiated the proceedings, leading in prayer those who gathered on the lawn and street outside Weber's home. Thomas also offered words of encouragement. So Pastor Myron Thomas, he had offered words of encouragement. Do we know what those words are? No. But they were outside Weber's home. We're tired of seeing our young men not coming home. We're killing each other. The police are killing us, and we're not going back home, Thomas said. Yeah, so he's tired of the police killing them. He's tired of the black community killing each other. When is it ever going to stop? Why keep doing this? You're supposed to have unity, not kill each other. And why allow the police to even kill you? It's time that we come together. If we don't love each other, they're not gonna love us. If we don't care about each other, they're not going to care about us. So that's what he is saying. If you don't love each other, they're not going to love them. And if they don't care about each other, they're not going to care about them. So it don't matter if it's black, white, Puerto Rican, Korean, Asian, Haitians, or whatever. Everybody needs to come together and stop all these killings. This is just too much. And the police are getting away with it. They're lying on their police report every day saying, oh, I'm in fear. I was in fear for my life. Yeah, okay, that's a lie right there. And of course, the judge takes their side instead of listening to the other side, because it's a two-way street, not a one-way street. But knowing the judge, to them, it's a one-way street. Oh, well, we're going to take the police side. And that's what they do all the time, because they don't even care anymore. We've got to let the world know that we care about each other. We care about our community. We're not going to destroy our own community. This is our community. So yeah, that is true. Everybody need to care about each other, because it's your community, it's my community, and this is everybody's community, no matter what race you are. And here's a picture of one of the brothers holding a photo of their 20-year-old. As friends and family paid tribute to Weber, some speakers led an attentive crowd in chants such as "Long live B. Stacks," Weber's nickname. Many onlookers punctuated pauses in each speech by shouting his catchphrase, "Don't even trip." So Weber had a nickname, and he was called B-Stacks. Now, I don't know what that stands for, or why he has that name, but and of course, the people that were sitting quietly or punctuated pauses speech by shouting his catchphrase, "Don't even trip." So Yeah, don't even trip. I don't know why, but that's what it is. But for most of the night, attendees sat quietly, listening intently to those who opted to share their reflections on Weber's life. Yeah, so the attendees, they were sitting quietly. It was up to them or not if they shared their reflections on Weber's life. Clark, 38, said Weber was her first child. He was born when she was 18 years old. Yeah, so she had him when she was 18 years old. So that's why he was the oldest. He was 20 years old. That was half of my life. He was 20, Clark said. I have to learn to live the rest of my life without him. And of course, it's going to be hard for her because now she has to learn to live the rest of her life without him. And no mother wants to really live without their child, especially if they're the oldest. He, from the moment of conception, was a special baby. He was always a good baby. He never really cried much. So her oldest son never cried much. He was a special baby for a reason, and he was a good one. Fighting tears, Clark remembered one odd thing about her son that stood out in his early childhood. He'd never really crawled forward, Clark said, cutting through the Solomon atmosphere with laughter. He used to crawl backwards. So she remembered that odd moment at the visual. Instead of him crawling forward, he crawled backwards. Now, why do some children do that? I don't know why at all, but that's why he was a special baby. Clark said Weber fell just short of the target score on a standardized test to be accepted into gifted courses in elementary school. So it was just sad that, you know, the standardized test, I don't know what that is, but he fell short of that. I took him out. I celebrated him, Clark said. I told him, you are special. He was always a king. So her oldest son was a king. So she celebrated him because, the elementary school fell short of gifted courses. So she decided to take him out of that school. Clark also described her son as someone who relied on family, sticking close to his 7 brothers and numerous cousins whenever he left home. So he had numerous cousins, he had 7 brothers, and of course, there was a big family. I know y'all are going to miss him, Clark said. My son was loved. I see that on today. I knew that anyways, but I see in his death how the community and everybody is coming together to help me. And so everybody sees how he is, and of course the community came together to help her. And of course he was loved as always. I appreciate it with my soul, and I know Brandon would. Yeah, so Brandon would appreciate everybody coming to her, and she appreciates it so much. And as you can see here in the picture, here's a lot of people gathered for the visual, and this is really sad that everybody is gonna miss him because he was loved and he was special. He was a king, and no mother should have to deal with this. But in this case, when you got cousins, siblings, and other extended family members, yeah, they're gonna come out and pay tribute to him, celebrate his life, and it's just not fair at all. Leave your comments below. I am out.